Hi everyone and welcome back to our YouTube ReactJS learning series. Today we are going to demonstrate or learn how we can fetch data from endpoint and display into our ReactJS application. So let's get started. For that, first try to import the use effect because that's the only hook which can provide us the all for lifecycle methods or the lifecycle we can say the life cycles into function based component. Second one is use state because at later stage of our application we will have to store our data somewhere. So let's the easiest and quickest syntax is like open brackets, inside that again the function body, then the arrow function or arrow operator, then the curly brackets for function body, then comma and the array body. Why empty array body? Because we are hitting the API into component did mount phase. Okay, once component mount it will hit the API. To hit the API there is a inbuilt method of JavaScript which is fetch. Now we will require the API. So for you guys I have found a public API like this which will give us this response. So nothing rocket science, just give your API endpoint dot, then what it will, here you will have a JSON format like which you will have to convert to read into your system. So you can just directly need to do like this response dot JSON. Again it is one callback, then the next one will have a clean readable stream output. How? Like I can title it like output. Now we can set this output into our state. So we have not defined it yet. Let's create that now. Constant our API response. Now set API response, again use state because, and we will initialize it with empty object till we have the data. So right now it is empty, or okay, yeah, later we will get back to TypeScript. When that time I will showcase you how you can pass the types here. Let's copy this one and set the value to the output. It's done. Now I can showcase you, as soon as this response updates it here, we can check which kind of data our state is holding. Like response, this is just an identifier. I did a mistake here, remove it. I save it. As soon as I save it, it will run and it can log something on console. You can see this data is appearing on our console. So we need to display this data on our UI. What we can do, like there is key and there is values. For this object we can do one thing, like this is the state, remove this here. Okay, keep our home page heading. Later in next tutorials we also require that here. Okay, now it can be like create a loop, simple loop to loop through this object. We can only loop through arrays, but I will show you how we can loop through this data. So here we can do like object dot keys of what, of this object dot map. Okay, so each key of this object has become an array. Like we this is creating an array of only keys. So now you have a key. Okay, what we will do, we will just output a p tag with the key and value. Key is simple, coming from here, and the value like from this state. Okay, API response, or we can say the key like that. It will also output the value. Let's save it. Here you can see the IP and the value. So what I am doing, you can see the colon here, IP is the key, the value is the value. Let's cross verify, is the same data we are getting. So there is 3, 3, 6 and 3, 9 key value pair we are having. So here is 3, 3, 6 and 3, 9. So that is a way to get or fetch data from an API endpoint and display on the UI. It is just a simple example. A p tag, you can create a table, a neat and clean UI, like in profile sections on many websites. You can see it's up to you. For example, here I can showcase you. It is just a p tag. So styling is up to you. Like you can change the fonts or all, like font weight, font style. There is many styles. Let's like see here. You can see when I will be updating the style. No, font size. It was font style, yeah. So it's italic, normal, oblique, inherit. There is some styles you can apply. Also you can increase the font size. So that's a whole different case. You can see the increase size. We for this video, I think we were only targeting the API, like calling the API and fetching the response. If there is anything I can describe again, I can. So like, okay, give me a minute, I will again re-describe you what we are doing. We are using a use effect hook to call a API endpoint. Why we are using a use effect? Because there is multiple life cycles of a React application. Here the empty body describes the life cycle will run, or the code will run when the application is in component did mount phase. If you want, like for example, now you get data of IP address. Now if you want to do, once we get the IP address, then I want to hit another API. So you can simply do like copy this one, paste it here, and here you can do. Okay, that was from above API. So what it will do, this one will run in component did mount phase, but when it will run, component should update as soon as this data gets changed. Like initially it's empty, not defined. So as this mark says, like until the data is not there, it will not run. So as soon as this key on this object has data, the inner body, like here API call. Okay, here you can write your API call, and that will run when your object values get updated for this particular. Okay, but if you want the whole object, then any of the key, as soon as any of the key or values added into the object, it will rerun. So you can achieve it also here, but I will not suggest it because for both the cases it will run. So keep it separate to not face some kind of like re-render issues. Make the code as much as neat and clean, so you will face less issues. Otherwise React can generate issues which you will have trouble in solving when the code becomes large. So that's about the component did mount phase. Then we have created like we have defined a state. This is the state variable, this is the method, or we can say the callback to update the state. Here is the hook from ReactJS, and we are initializing API response with a empty object. Then what we do, as soon as our API return us response, we are updating our API response with the output data. Then on the as soon as anything gets changed, the React knows like, yeah, I need to re-render because some data which is getting rendered into the UI has changed. So now it will rerun this loop. It is also running at the initial phase. Keep in mind, it's not like after coming data, but at the initial phase it is also rerunning, but there is no key. You can see it is defined as empty array, so there is no key. Until there is key, the map will not run. If there is any key in the array, then only it will run. So it doesn't output anything. But once this use effect in component did mount cycle runs and give us some data, then it will extract keys, create an array. The array will run and fetch the data from the object to display on the UI. So I hope it's clear. In next videos we will do something advanced. So in each video we will try to, like, I will try to demonstrate you how from a basic to advanced level you can go one by one. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe, do comment and give a thumbs up. I think that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you all in the next video. Thank you.